God's peace and joy are mine. 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 My brothers and sisters divine, may peace and joy be thine. My brothers and sisters divine, may peace and joy you find. God's peace and joy are mine. 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 My brothers and sisters divine, may peace and joy be thine. My brothers and sisters divine, may peace and joy be thine. God's peace and joy are mine. God's peace and joy are mine. Dear Divine Ones, welcome back to Miracle Mantras. I'm Kiran Jot. I'll be reading today's lesson for you and singing this mantra with you again so that you can sing it and carry it with you throughout your day. And I'll be adding a commentary at the end. This is lesson number 105. God's peace and joy are mine. God's peace and joy are yours. Today we will accept them, knowing they belong to us. And we will try to understand these gifts increase as we receive them. They are not like to the gifts the world can give, in which the giver loses as he gives the gift. The taker is the richer by his loss. Such are not gifts, but bargains made with guilt. The truly given gift entails no loss. It is impossible that one can gain because another loses. So this implies a limit and an insufficiency. No gift is given thus. Such gifts are but a bid for a more valuable return, a loan with interest to be paid in full, a temporary lending meant to be a pledge of debt to be repaid with more than was received by him who took the gift. This strange distortion of what giving means pervades all levels of the world you see. It strips all meaning from the gifts you give and leaves you nothing in the ones you take. A major learning goal this course has set is to reverse your view of giving so you can receive. For giving has become a source of fear, and so you would avoid the only means by which you can receive. Accept God's peace and joy, and you will learn a different way of looking at a gift. God's gifts will never lessen when they are given away. They but increase thereby. As heaven's peace and joy intensify when you accept them as God's gift to you, so does the joy of your Creator grow when you accept God's joy and peace as yours. True giving is creation. It extends the limitless to the unlimited, eternity to timelessness, and love unto itself. It adds to all that is complete already, not in simple terms of adding more, for that implies that it was less before. It adds by letting what cannot contain itself fulfill its aim of giving everything it has away, securing it forever for itself. Today, accept God's peace and joy as yours. Let God complete God's self as God defines completion. You will understand that what completes God must complete God's child as well. God cannot give through loss. No more can you. Receive God's gift of joy and peace today, and God will thank you for your gift to God. Today, our practice periods will start a little differently. Begin today by thinking of those brothers or sisters who have been denied by you the peace and joy that are their right under the equal laws of God. Here you denied them to yourself, and here you must return to claim them as your own. Think of your enemies a little while and tell each one as they occur to you. My brother, my sister, peace and joy I offer you, that I may have God's peace and joy as mine. Thus you prepare yourself to recognize God's gifts to you and let your mind be free of all that would prevent success today. Now are you ready to accept the gift of peace and joy that God has given you? Now are you ready to experience the joy and peace you have denied yourself? Now you can say, God's peace and joy are mine, for you have given what you would receive. You must succeed today if you prepare your mind as we suggest, for you have let all bars to peace and joy be lifted up, and what is yours can come to you at last. So tell yourself, God's peace and joy are mine, and close your eyes a while and let God's voice assure you that the words you speak are true. Spend your 5 minutes thus with God each time you can today, but do not think that less is worthless when you cannot give God more. At least remember hourly to say the words which call to God to give you what God wills to give and wills you to receive. Determine not to interfere today with what God wills. And if a brother or sister seem to tempt you to deny God's gift to them, see it as but another chance to let yourself receive the gifts of God as yours. Then bless them thankfully and say, my brother, sister, peace and joy I offer you, that I may have God's peace and joy as mine. God's peace and joy are 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 mine. receive the gift if we also give it away. So here we're learning the reversal of the way the world thinks about giving. Here it's always one or the other. Someone takes and someone loses. But in God, in divine, and in the love that pervades and is all there is, giving and receiving have no separation and are no different, and no one can lose at the expense of someone gaining. It's not possible because there is nothing separate, there is no other. Think about the times that we have given gifts and exchanged gifts. Sometimes it does feel like an obligation or something that carries some guilt with it. Well, they like the gift, well then I owe them. If I receive a gift from them, well, then I'll have to show them that I love them in the same level of giving and give them even more than they gave me. There's all sorts of societal pressure and this false thinking about gift that carries guilt with it, and it's some kind of need to prove ourselves, to prove that we are loved and that we're loving. This is not a gift, is it? Think of the times when we give freely, when we share our love, when we share our creativity. We're not expecting anything back. We're just joyfully giving. This is the kind of giving and receiving where everyone gains. So may we remember to receive and to give are one, and may we receive and give these gifts of joy and peace. Thank you for being with me. I look forward to being with you again tomorrow.